Hello teachers, hey, I just wanted to give you a quick little update here and share with you a video on how to schedule a Canvas Big Blue Button or Canvas conference within your Canvas course. So if you haven't done this in a few years, the user interface has slightly changed over the last year or so here. So I just wanted to walk you through kind of what that looks like to actually get a Canvas conference or a Big Blue Button conference scheduled in your Canvas course. So what I want you to do is I want you to jump into whatever course that you are wanting to schedule that conference in. Once you're in that course, I want you to find the button on the left-hand side that says Big Blue Button. Now you'll notice mine is not visible to students. I like to keep mine hidden from students for the time being and then only make that visible to students when it's time to actually join that conference and start that conference. So to actually make it visible, it's pretty simple to do. Just go to your Settings tab in your Canvas course, go to Navigation at the top, and then you can see the visible section and the hidden section. Just grab Big Blue Button and drag it up there into the visible section, and then scroll down and click Save. You'll want to do that right before you go ahead and start your Canvas conference and make it visible for your kids to join as well. You don't have to make it visible to schedule that. You can keep it hidden while you schedule all your conferences out. But when you go to the Big Blue button in your course, you're going to see a New Conferences and a Concluded Conferences, and then an Add Conference button. This is where you'll schedule your Canvas conferences. So I can go ahead and start by clicking the Add Conference button. Kind of has a Settings and an Attendees tab to start with. So we'll look at the Settings tab first. Here you have the conference type is Big Blue Button. We leave that there. You can give it whatever name you want to. So if you want to erase this and call this whatever check-in name you want to, conference name you want to, go ahead and change that to whatever you'd like there. You can change the duration if you'd like to for your Canvas conference if you wanted to do that. And then it gives you some options down below here. So this one would be to enable the recording for the conference, would allow you to actually do a recording for that. If you didn't want to have any time limit at all, you can simply check that box. This one right here is kind of nice. You enable the waiting room. So students have to be entered into the room by you. So if you wanted to make that something for students, you would go ahead and check Enable Waiting Room. And then you'd go over to the Attendees tab, and it even gets a little more granular and gives you some more control options here. So it starts with invitation options. It is always defaulted to invite all course members. That means all teachers in your course, all teacher assistants in your course, all designers, all observers, all students, all parent observers in your course. Let's say you want to go ahead and schedule a conference and you want all your students and all the teachers in there, but you don't want to have all your parent observers. Simply just check this box and it removes all your parent observers from that meeting. You don't have to have them invited to that meeting. If you're okay with them in the meeting, uncheck that box there. If you don't want to invite all of your course members to a meeting, so let's say, for example, maybe you're at the secondary level and you have multiple sections of the same course, and you only want to meet with a specific section. Here you can simply uncheck the Invite All Course Members, and then it gives you the course member navigation option below here. And when I click this drop down, it's going to show me, mine's going to look a little bit different than yours because this isn't a PowerSchool scheduled course. But what you would see is you would see all your different sections here. So let's say you taught 4 different sections of science. You would see all 4 of your sections of science listed out here. If you teach 2 or 3 sections of an ELA 1 course at high school, you would see all the different sections listed out, and you'd be able to choose the individual sections that you wanted to invite to this conference. Or if I wanted to even go so far as to invite just a handful of students to a conference, let's say I need to have a small group conference, I'd be able to go down and just simply select just the people that I wanted to invite to that conference. So I could select individual names if I'd like to. So do that through there. And then you can also allow the attendees to share their webcam. So this allows them to share their video so you can see their face. It allows them to see other viewers' webcams. So you can allow all the viewers to see everybody else's webcams, or maybe you don't want that. Maybe you want them to just see your webcam, so you would turn this off. Allow them to share their microphone so they can chime in and talk during that meeting. Allow them to send public chat messages. This is where you would allow them to be able to chat publicly with the whole class, visible with the teacher, everybody. And then these private chat messages would be this one right here. So this is probably one that you want to turn off, so that way your students aren't sending private chat messages just to each other and you can't see them. So you do all these options through here, you do all your settings through here, and then when you're ready, you go ahead and you click to create the conference. Your conference is now living in this New Conferences section up top right here. The name of the conference, and then it has a start button. What this means is that students cannot join this conference until you actually start the conference as the teacher. So what you want to do is, again, when it's time to start that conference, you'll want to make this Big Blue button visible in your course. And then when you're ready, you'll go ahead and click Start to actually start your conference. That is the scheduling of Canvas conferences. So check out our next video on our playlist, and that's going to walk through all the different features that you as an instructor or a teacher can manage through a virtual Canvas conference Big Blue Button call once you're in and once students are in, and kind of what that all looks like there.